What's up, everybody? Dance is the name. NBA2K15 is the game. What's up, everybody? Thought I'd make a video. I haven't spoke to y'all in a minute. This video was meant to be used for a Philadelphia 76ers series in which I was banking that they wouldn't win a game, and I was going to, title a series, "Can I get a win with, the Philadelphia 76ers in an online quick match before the real Sixers get a win?" And of course, just my luck, the Sixers got a win before this video dropped. I was going to drop it yesterday, but I was like, I ain't in no rush. And of course, it happens, and I had to switch up my programming. So this is gonna be like a NBA 2K State of the Union address / game commentary, and I'll just talk about some things that I the likes and dislikes that I've come across in the past couple of days or weeks since the last video I dropped, because I've been playing the game a lot of challenge mode. Been starting with these quick matches. I started the road to the playoffs. I got out of the the preliminary seed, whether that's the 8th or whatever. I might be in the 8th now, but I've been playing a little bit of that. But first thing I wanted to chat about was the layups in this game. I'm not the more I play this game, especially when you start playing the more difficult competition, like in the challenge modes, the percentage of layups going in this game are really not high enough, and it's nothing like that. That was a charge call there. Actually, no, that wasn't a charge call. And I don't count contact layups, even though the computer makes tons of contact layups. I'm talking about just regular old everyday layups. I mean, the layups you miss in this game, even good high school players make them, and there's like a little 5 foot tall kid, with handles up the wazoo splashing layups, the layups that this game makes you miss. And I wouldn't have a problem if the computer missed as much, but the computer don't miss no layups. As y'all know, the computer hits every damn layup it takes, just about. But in this game, like it's like, it doesn't matter if you're wide open, if you break, if you finally can get a guy off dribble, you don't get no damn layups in this game. It's like, it's crazy sometimes. You set up a post move and you do a layup, and he it'll bounce off the back rim. I mean, it happens, but I would expect that to happen if I did a quick motion. I got the ball on the post, boom, boom, layup right up. But if I'm setting this layup up, backing the guy down, and throwing a layup, a lot of times, big men, they don't miss that shot. The big guys, when they take a high percentage shot, they usually make it 9 times out of 10, unless it's blocked. Because if the guy picks his arm up, sometimes he's hitting the rim. These guys are tall; they got long arms. So the layups in this game, they a little wonky. I mean, I know I don't want everyone to go in, but if I am in a situation where I know an NBA player would make this layup, he would use the backboard. He would, or even if he did use the backboard, they're tall. A lot of them are tall guys. A layup is the easiest shot for them to make. Players do miss them, but not a lot. And I mean, contact layups, I'm not talking about them, even though the computer makes them. But regular layups, they need. What is this guy doing? This is something I'm gonna get to a little later on. I don't just because you could do a layup a rebound into a layup is not gonna make me quit the game. It wasn't that impressive. But anyway, they need to fix these layups, and also on top of the this kind of goes hand in hand with the whole layup situation. The defensive recovery time that the computer has in this game is a little too souped up, in my opinion. It's like certain situations happen too slowly in this game. Like if you do a pick and roll, you know, a nice little, you know, Stockton and Malone type pick and roll, the defense has no time to recover. He might have time to turn around, but by the time he turns around, the layup is, you know, the layup is in the net already. You know, the play is over. The offensive play is done. In this game, you do a pick and roll situation, and the computer has time to turn around and sometimes even impede the guy who's making the roll. Like I'm behind the guy, and I get the ball, so technically I'm past him, and somehow the game slows down, and so, like it's like the computer does like an animation slowdown, and he you know, he makes it so he's able to get a rub on me, or sometimes even a block shot. And they really need to work on that, because a pick and roll should be money, unless it's, you know, it's a high pick and roll, you know, high screen where, you know, it's a situation where there's a center already at the hoop. But if you're doing the one that's by the hoop and the center's out, you know, out of defensive position, and you know there's a guy with his back turned to you, he's out of the play. There's you know, it should be an easy bucket. He shouldn't be able to turn around in time when you're already past him technically, in any real situation, to you know, be able to recover and block the shot, or impede the shot, or disturb the shot in any, you know, way, shape, or form. That just doesn't happen. This game has a lot of them 2K moments. Even though this is my favorite version of the game thus far, and I'm pretty sure I played every version. I haven't owned every version, but I played every version. You know, going back to them Dreamcast days, you know, you still get them 2K moments in this game where you just like sitting there. You know, sometimes you gotta hit pause. What is this? You know, this guy. I'm not quitting, bro. You ain't that good. You know, you're playing with the Warriors. You know, it's like the best team in the game. If he was beating me, you know, whipping my butt with the team I'm using, then maybe I might think about quitting, but I wouldn't. But you know, but let's get back to that 2K moment. This guy, this is who I'm playing. He's very arrogant. But you know, that 2K moment where you just, you know, the computer does something just so crazy that, you know, your jaws on it. It happens to me a lot because I've been playing these challenges, and the stuff that the computer does in that mode is just, you know. So I was doing the most recently doing the Lenny Wilkens challenge, and I don't know if any of you guys have tried that yet, but the team that you have to play against is Lenny Wilkens, James Harden, who's the forward? No, it's Chris Bosh, Bill Russell. I'm trying to remember who's the forward. Oh, yeah, Chris Mullin. And that is probably like the most dangerous team I've ever played in this game. Like they're like, Chris Mullin is crazy. You know, they have Bill Russell, like he's like all world, which he is all world. He's like arguably the you know greatest basketball player ever. He got like 11 rings. You know, they say Mike is, but maybe I always throw Bill Russell in there too, because he's a bad mofo. But like it was crazy. He was just, stuff was happening that was there he goes again. I ain't going nowhere, bruh. You know, just things happen that was just crazy stuff. Just have your jaw on the ground. Like let's see if I can think of an example. You know, animation bank shots from 17 and out. Like the computer never misses those shots, but like you shoot them, You know, it's like, you know, kind of like 50-50. It's either going in or going out. Look at this. Cash rules everything around me. You see that money? Making things happen with this depleted lineup. I was hoping Roten was in, because Roten, you know, he's a physical monster, but he's out. So I was you know, I was severely limited. I don't know a lot of these guys' strengths and weaknesses. I don't know what the hell he did there. So I did a small lineup for the most part. I had my comfortable lineup was Michael Carter-Williams, this KJ McDaniels, and Alex Shved. You know, Shved was usually always the shooting guard, but I think I had a point guard when Michael Carter-Williams wasn't on the ground. But I kept the lineup small because I didn't really know the strengths and weaknesses of the forwards and the centers. Like Nerlens Noel, I don't know what he can do well. He doesn't play nearly as athletic as he looks on TV or real life, I should say. He's like really slow, and you know, he's not as explosive as he appears to be on television. Not even as fast, because he looked like a real fast guy. He kind of looked like a poor man's, you know, Anthony Davis, but nah, he ain't like that in this game. He's real slow and like clunky. But what else we gonna talk about? I want to talk about let's talk about the Knicks and the Sixers. Since I'm a fan of the Knicks, I'm playing with the Sixers here in this gameplay. They're both probably like 1 and 2. You know, you can in between. You know, you can flip flop who's the better team. I think the Sixers play with. I hate to say it, they play with a little more fire, a little more heart. They just don't have the same talent as the Knicks. The Knicks, I think that my Knicks are conflicted right now with the offensive system. I think you got half the guys that are buying in and are having, you know, a good time with the learning experience in the system, and I think you have half the lineup that don't care. You know, they want out. You know, a lot of players today, they're not used to systems. You know, they don't even stick around in college that long, so they're not even used to really a college system. You know, as a freshman, I'm sure certain freshmen, you know, pick up on the system, but a lot of athletes today, they're not really team players. I mean, there were athletes in every generation that needed a kick in the ass when they got to a team, and you know, say, hey, you was the man in college. You know, you might have been the man on, you know, the team that got you from, but when you're here, you play a role, and this guy is, you know, he's the lead. You follow his lead, and you know, that's just how it goes. And I think a lot of guys on the Knicks are, not a lot, I think a bunch of them aren't buying in, and I think it's mainly because I don't think that Carmelo Anthony is buying in to the offensive system, because we all know that Carmelo Anthony is a one-on-one player, and he's been a one-on-one player for his whole career. So to, you know, at this point in his career, to ask him to learn a system and play within a system, I think is difficult for him, and I don't necessarily think he likes it. I think he expects everybody else to, this is just an opinion or a hypothesis, an educated guess, but I'm thinking I think he expects the rest of the team to play within this system, and and just, I think he's like a Keyshawn Johnson guy, even though he won't say it. He's like one of them guys, just give me the rock. I don't care, just give me the rock. And I could be wrong, I might be wrong, but I don't think he's buying into the system. He doesn't, watching him move out there, I don't even think even if he is buying it, I don't think he fully grasped it yet. I've always wondered his basketball IQ. Stop. Andre Iguodala in this game is extremely disappointing. He's so disappointing in this game. I recently, I think I picked him up from a pack, and did I pick him up a pack or I bought him? Either way, if I bought him, I wish I could sell him back, because he does not impress me in this game at all. He's like you really gotta work him. Like he's not going to give you nothing for free in this game. I think Iguodala is not going to give you nothing for free in this game. He is good defensively, we'll give him that much, but offensively, whew, oh boy, Like you might as well make him your lead scorer because he, at least for me, the way I play, like when I do my little pick and pop, hit him on the 3-point line. You know, when he's wide open, he's throwing up a lot of bricks, throwing up some bricks, sedans, you know, a couple of boats. He's throwing up a lot, you know, a whole lot of cheese. And he's just not a very, at least for myself, a very effective offensive player in this game. We need that Ruby Iggy back soon. You know, Ruby Iggy, we all know Ruby Iggy was nasty, but regular Iggy, old Iggy in this game, he's just a regular cat. You know, he's a regular dude up in there. But what we're talking about, Knicks and Melo. Yeah, Melo's IQ. I question his basketball IQ. I don't think his IQ is very high. I don't think he's stupid. You know, he's not a dumb fella. But I don't think he's a one of them guys, you know, Kobe guy who's sitting up to 1, 2, 3 in the morning watching game tape. You know, I'm sure he puts up some shots in the gym, but I just don't think he's like fully committed to basketball. I mean, I think basketball is something he does well. Like that's something he does very well. But I don't think that he's like, you know, I think he has many other, you know, hobbies or side projects that take up his time. You see that cheese that he did there with that ice skating move? He looked like he did 2 power slides. Look, he did 2 power slides and then one past me. They need to work on that mess. But yeah, I don't think Melo's fully committed. You know, he's committed. I'd say he's like 70%, 75. You know, I give him. But you know, he's his strength. His strength training never seemed to be there. He's got, you know, his physique never showed of somebody who was what I consider a professional athlete. I think a lot of guys have a lot of, look at that cheese. Did you see that? A lot of guys, have a lot of talent, and they just play basketball off that talent. They don't really refine and learn, and you know, look at that mess. You know, they don't really work everything, body, mind, soul, to the game. You could just kind of see it from them. You know, they just like a guy like Derrick Rose, who's, you know, even though you can tell he's got most of the game there, but he was a little questionable there for a minute. We were talking about he wasn't sure. You know, he was worried about his knees, you know, being worried about when he was getting older with his kids, and how he's going to be when he gets older. You look at almost all these basketball players, and they get older, they walk like Frankenstein because they committed their body to the game. You know, their knees are just shot. And that's just part of being a professional athlete in the sport. You know, whether it's basketball, football, even baseball. You know, your knees they're gonna go. You got to give it your all. You know, and he's out there playing now, which is good. You know, it's good for the Chicago fans. You know, be the people who support the team because they do need him. I don't know, you know, to what extent at this point. You know, his body is breaking down pretty quick. But you know, they do need him out there because he is a elite athlete, mentally and physically. But I think he needs to change up his styling a little bit, the way he plays the game. He needs to play a little finesse, a little smarter. And I think he'll be around as long as possible. One thing I wanted to address in this 2K talk to the people is CPU. What's the word I'm going to use? CPU attention span, maybe. Attentiveness, where you know, we all know the computer is in full control of all 5 players, but the CPU kind of gets dumb on you. A lot of people talked about this, but the CPU tends to get dumb on you when you play as your 4 players, the 4 guys that you're not using. They're like really stupid. Like it's crippling sometimes. It's like I'll tell you, sometimes at home I'm like I'm close to crying. I'm like you guys, you got to be killing me. It's almost sometimes like when like let's say a rebound situation. If I'm controlling somebody that's not under the basket, the computer should rebound for you. He should. Just to me, that he should rebound for you. Now, a lot of times it's like the CPU is like you know, I'm gonna get the edge any way I can, and in this situation, you ain't got no arms, and that's just how it's gonna be. And it looks like you guys like standing there doing the Harlem Shake, like looking at you like, yo, I can't use my arms, homie. I can't use my arms. Like, my arms fell asleep. Then the ball is like bouncing off his chest. He's dribbling it with his knee like he's Lionel Messi or somebody. And he's out there looking crazy. And more, 9 times out of 10, the computer, retains the ball and hits a layup, or he brings the ball up the court, a nice little fast break, and does this thing. And that's another thing I want to address. The computer cheats all the damn time with that, like with the steal for steal, the tit for tat thing. And it's funny because sometimes the computer, it looks like the computer catches itself cheating. It's like, whoa, that was a little too blatant. Let me let me get a little sloppy and get the ball back. It's like whenever you get a steal, like the moment I get a steal from the computer, even like human opponents, but with the computer, if I get a steal, I am so cautious and worried at that point, because damn well the minute you pass the ball, if it's even a little sloppy, the computer is going to get the ball back. In some way, shape, or form, if you stop the computer from by stealing the ball, he is going to get the ball back. And it's what? Stop punishing us for playing good basketball. That's what I want to get. That's the main thing I want to talk about with this 2K. But stop punishing me for playing good basketball. If I play bad basketball, and right there, I was a pick and roll number. It wasn't bad basketball, it was just good offense. But if I play bad basketball, all right, it's my fault. If I play good basketball, I want the same perks that the computer has to play good basketball, because the computer don't even need to play good basketball to make stuff happen. But for me to play good basketball, I feel like this game punishes you for playing good basketball. Like the computer cheats in its favor to punish me for playing good basketball. And I'm sure there was a couple of examples in this game that I didn't time it, because this ain't like one of them breakdowns. This State of the Union address. We're talking about a little bit of everything. And they need to work on that. Don't punish me for playing good basketball. And another thing I wanted to address was, at least for me, this is all my experience. I'm sure some people out there have similar experience to me. And with 2K, with the basketball game here, everybody, there's this skill levels all over the board with this game. There are guys that are beginners, because they bought it because it's one of the best games, especially the best looking games for the new generation of consoles, and PS4, Xbox 360, Xbox One. That's a lot of people's first console. You see that hustle. He was trying to get all cute, but I don't give up. We hustle out here. We try to get this dub. But there's people of all skill levels in this game. But with my experience, I'm a post player. I'd like to, I shoot threes because if you give me a three, I got a wing guy wide open, I'm shooting a three. Simple as that. It's like in this video game, that's like the damn layup. Jumps, 3-point jump shot has probably a better shooting percentage than a layup in this game. And that's what I want to talk about. I'm a post guy. I like playing post play. I'm a Knicks fan. I was a fan of Patrick Ewing. And I've always been a fan of the big guys in there, putting in work in the post, in the trenches, banging and clanging. And I don't understand, I talked a little bit about it earlier, I don't understand why this game is backwards, why it's easier to shoot a jump shot than a layup. And it's crazy, if I got a big guy to post, like I said before, I back you down, and I'm 7 feet tall. Layup is easy, especially if it's uncontested. A lot of the layup shots you shoot in this game are uncontested, and they don't go in. And they got that backwards. They got that the field. You have a higher field goal percentage shooting jump shots than layups, and that's weird. It's just weird. But let's get to this player etiquette, player online etiquette. This guy here, he's very arrogant. He's a very arrogant player. I don't even know why he's decided to play me. For some reason he thought I was going to quit by him doing certain things. I'm play till the buzzer ends. This is pretty much it. Whether I'm down 20, 30, I'm play till the buzzer ends. I'm not into all that. He's a great online personality. No, but I'm not into that. What's his name? Cash Nasty Gaming. Shout out to Cash Nasty. When he pauses the game when he shoots a three, or somebody shoots a three on him or something. A lot of the younger guys they emulate that. And stop with all the pausing. Just play the game. Don't show me no instant replays of you doing a dunk or none of that nonsense. This guy, a particular guy I'm playing with the he's scrolling back and forth with the quit button. I don't know if he's contemplating quitting himself or trying to tell me that I need to quit because I'm gonna get this get an L. But don't do all that. Think about the person you're playing. You can play mind games on the court. Just bust his ass. That's mind games enough. Get up 10 points. That seat gets a little hotter under these. But don't do all that weird interruptive stuff. And there's actually a weird moment coming up. I don't know if I passed it or not yet. And y'all gonna have to tell me about that one. But yeah, play etiquette, play the game. I don't mind trash talking. Trash talking's fine. If I feel like it, I'll trash talk with you. I got a whole lot of tools in the toolbox when it comes to trash talking. I learned a lot. I grew up. I don't know if y'all. I don't think I've ever talked about it, but I grew up in East New York. I'm from Brooklyn. I'm a Brooklynite. I don't live in Brooklyn anymore, but that's where I'm from. And Brooklyn is brutal. I went to school in Manhattan too. I lived in Brooklyn, commuted to Manhattan for elementary school, middle school, and I'm telling you, them kids was rough. It was real rough growing up in the city. You couldn't come if you didn't come correct. Somebody was gonna let you know. And there was a couple instances where when I was younger, I wasn't really into fashion and stuff. I used to wear sweatpants all the time. I wasn't a jean guy when I was younger, so I was always getting it with the sweatpants. And I remember one time, this is a long departure from what we were talking about before, but I remember one time I was at summer camp, and this was in the 80s. And Mom Dukes had gotten, because my mom wasn't rich. I was a single parent family. My mom did everything she can. She's passed away through cancer. God rest her soul. But she did everything for me. But sometimes you didn't get everything you wanted. And one time she got me some fake Reeboks. And somebody, one of my fellow campmates, whatever you call them. It wasn't a sleepaway camp. So one of my fellow campers, he decided to address it, and he tore me up with them fake Reeboks. He had me salty as hell. I wasn't even turned back when I was little, but he had a brother upset. I was ready to call Mom Dukes, because I was a mama's boy when I was little. I got upset real easy. I was ready to call Mom Dukes. But that's just one story, about talking shit. And so I'm from New York. I'm well seasoned in the art of trash talking. Very well seasoned. So you see that board? Snatching. But see, they go that layup. That was a contested layup, but it looked like ain't all that rolling. Stop with all that rolling. Some people got different touches on the ball. But yeah, so you want trash talk? I could trash talk. Ain't no problem with that. I'll trash talk with the best of them. It's not a problem, but just the pausing and all that nonsense. I ain't got no time for all that cute stuff. So here we go. Time out. I'm fighting. Now here's something weird. Here we go. This is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Like, was that necessary? And also, he just gave me the win, right? He quit because I was still fighting. Like I don't think he liked the fact that I was fighting. I was coming back. I don't even think I was gonna win that game. I mean, it would have took a miracle to win that game, but I fought to the end, and I think he gave me that dub. I'm pretty sure he gave me that dub, even though technically I didn't win. But you know, that's it. It's your boy Dancing. We out of here. And thanks for listening to all this mess, and I'll see y'all in the next video.